of Our Lady of Hope Catholic Church, Father Manny Cardoza, to lead us in tonight's invocation, followed by, and I will ask Councilmember Sandra Barra. Sandra, if you would please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll all rise, and at this time, Manny Cardoza.
Thank you. Good to see y'all again. We stand before you, Lord God, conscious of our faults, but aware that we gather in your name. Come to us, remain with us, and enlighten the hearts of these city leaders and decision makers. Grant us light and strengthen us to know your will, to make it our own, and to live it in our lives. Guide the leaders and all those who live in our city by your wisdom. Support us by your power, for you are God, to whom we rely on. You desire justice for all, that these city leaders and decision makers make decisions to uphold the dignity of the human person in all stages of life, but especially those of the margins of our city. Do not let us be misled by ignorance or corrupted by fear or favor. Unite us to yourself in the bond of love and keep us faithful to all that is true. As we gather under your divine guidance, may all decisions made this day be for those who need the most help, those who struggle every day, those who struggle without a home, who struggle with mental illness, who struggle from gun violence, who struggle from addictions, those who live day by day. That all decisions made this day be pleasing to you, and in being faithful stewards to your divine will, we may be granted life eternal. We offer this in your divine name, for you live and reign forever and ever. Amen.
Thank you very much, Father Manny Cardoza of Our Lady of Hope Catholic Church, and thank you, Councilmember Barra. At this time, we'll recognize our city clerk. Please call the roll.
Councilmember Sanchez.
Here.
Councilmember Ibarra.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem.
Here.
Councilmember Charette.
Here.
Councilmember Reynoso.
Here.
Councilmember Calvin.
Present.
Councilmember Alexander.
Here.
And Mayor Valdivia.
Present. Thank you. Before I recognize our city manager, I do want to welcome aboard our fire chief. And at this time, I'm going to ask our fire chief, Mejia. Sir, I'm going to recognize you first if you come to the podium. And I want to say a deep appreciation to San Bernardino County Fire Department. Chief Mejia, you've served our city well, and we thank you, and we wish you a lot of good luck in your retirement. It's well earned and deserved. And on behalf of the city of San Bernardino, I do extend my deep appreciation, commendation for your services to our city and to our firefighters and our professional community here, and we thank you. Sir?
We thank you very much. I've enjoyed my time here, especially meeting with you, Mayor and City Council. I think I've met with each one of you at one point or another. But 35 years and it's time to go. I'm going kicking and screaming, but I love my job and what I do, but it's time. And we found a great replacement. So I want to introduce Chief Cerna up here if we could.
Martin Cerna, sir, welcome aboard, and I'll recognize you for a few 30 seconds. Welcome, sir. Fire Chief Martin Cerna, welcome aboard.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Good evening, Council. My name is Martin Cerna. I know I have big shoes to fill with Chief Mejia, but I look forward to the opportunity of working with not only your honorable body, but also the leadership team here within the city of San Bernardino, and carry on the tradition of providing excellent service to the community at large. So thank you for this opportunity.
Chief Cerna, give us your background. You came from what city? And
City of Torrance. I worked in the city of Torrance for 29 years, served as their fire chief for the last 6 years, and transitioned over to the Inland Empire. This is where I reside, so I look forward. I'm glad to be home and not commuting on the 91 freeway. So
I bet you are.
Yes.
Chief Cerna, I received the memo, I believe Friday, and I was very, very excited. And thank you, sir, for your years of service to Torrance, and certainly now We'll utilize you in a very busy city at our 12 stations here. I think there are now 10 stations, but I'm very, very fond of our firefighters. And sir, welcome aboard. And before Chief Cerna leaves the podium, Dan, would you get up there, please? And let's show Dan Mejia, Chief Mejia, for 35 years of service. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right, at this time, let's move on.
Mayor, may I say one thing? Dan, you didn't let me know you were leaving, and you're too young to retire. But I wish you the very best.
Okay, at this time, we'll move on to our city manager report. Mr. City Manager.
I think actually did we have a closed session report yet? I don't think we did.
We did have several closed session items, but we do not have any reportable action.
Thank you. Thank you for that reminder. All right, Mr. City Manager.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, still a lot of stuff going on. The first item on here, well, we just heard about this. We'll say one more time though, congratulations and thank you to Chief Mejia for all that you've done for us here in the general community for 35 years. What a great legacy you leave behind. Economic development. A lot of things are happening here right now. We just opened a new hotel down, and everybody likes that because it means, you know, a lot more people coming to the city, more transient occupancy tax and other sorts of good things happening here. So a really positive development happened just in time for the last event down at the Orange Show. This is a special kind of hotel. It's got a lot of amenities in it, including full kitchens and full-size appliances and other things. So a great addition to the city's hotel stock. Also, we've just launched an interactive tool to let people know where properties are that are available for various economic development related activities, things that will grow our workforce, that will grow and grow the economy in general. A really useful tool in the economic development world. You can see the website address down at the bottom of this. It'll be linked through the city's website, of course. This is a really good thing. I think Councilman Reynoso would be particularly happy to hear about this. Final preparations underway. The abatement is already happening at this old Scottish Rite Temple. You can see the picture on the right. That's what it looks like from the inside. Now, that's pre-demolition. So it was as bad as it looked from the street. It was even worse on the inside. And I'm advised by our economic development manager that the smell was something special to behold. So a great thing, and there are several different QSRs, quick serve restaurants, that are coming into that space. So we're going to have additional options right there, right off the freeway, and a tremendous upgrade. Another sign of things turning for the better in San Bernardino. We had a gang sweep that was led by the San Bernardino Police Department, but it included the Sheriff's Department, Rialto, Redlands, Fontana Schools, and Colton and Upland Police Departments all participated. Over 80 officers and deputies assisted in the operation, over 30 felony arrests, some misdemeanor arrests, and several firearms recovered, along with quite a haul of illegal drugs. This next one's kind of a mind-boggler. There was a food truck operating in San Bernardino that we took down under a search warrant. It wasn't just selling tacos. They were selling prescription and illegal drugs. 6.3 pounds of meth, 4 pounds of amphetamine pills, about 2.5 pounds of oxycodone, 5 ounces of alprazolam, 8 grams of cocaine, and 2,000 fentanyl pills. We all know how dangerous fentanyl is. So this was a pretty significant takedown of a very well-hidden drug operation. Congratulations to the San Bernardino Police Department on both of these. Through the good offices of the Parks Department, under leadership of Liddy Gutfeld, we are in the process right now, through the advice of the Arts and Historical Preservation Commission. We're going to be awarding a total of $100,000 in grants, some of them up to $25,000. This is to stimulate continue to stimulate the arts culture in the city. We are growing that back now. It is a great thing, and this is a big step in the right direction to continue to help grow the arts in the city of San Bernardino, to bring them back. Water Department, congratulations to Miguel Guerrero and his folks. Got a $5.5 million grant from, through FEMA, through the good offices of our Congressman, Pete Aguilar, to help restore the systems here in the city, make sure that our reservoirs are safe, is to armor them against seismic events, which we know are always likely to happen. You don't know when, but you know that if you don't prepare for them, they'll do a lot of damage. So this is really going to help secure a safe water supply for San Bernardino. Animal Services, they're on a roll. They're getting grants from all over the place. Just got a $180,000 grant from the state of California, California for All Animals Initiative, $180,000 to help foster, in our foster coordinator and dedicated volunteer positions. Going to help a lot and save even more animals. We remain on the dog side, a no-kill shelter. It's challenging right now because there are a lot of folks who are abandoning their animals. Big problem. So we are working with various adoption centers and rescues to take care of that. We're also offering free adoptions through August 31st. So pretty big deal there. So you can really help us clear the shelters. We're also, through the libraries, we're right now offering an adventure pass. You can get adventure passes at all 4 of our libraries. Cardholders, you can check them out. Get free entry to over 200 participating state parks. One other thing before I hand the reins back, I would be remiss and probably in trouble with park staff if we didn't mention, again, festival is coming up October 8th. This is going to be a massive event at Second Lake Park. We're not sure how many people are going to show up. We're shooting for 5 figures though. If we can get maybe 10,000 people there, it'd be great. There's going to be there's a lot of support. Some of the people that are supporting it are in this room right now. So I want to thank them. Yep, just heard from them. It's a great thing. This is another one of those indicators that San Bernardino's on the comeback trail, and can't wait to see the people out there having a great time at that all-day event on October 8th. So with that, I am finished. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. City Manager. We appreciate the report, and it was very comprehensive. We appreciate the positive news in our city and the going-ons of various departments, and really excited about that. Before we begin our council announcement, I want to recognize 30 years of service. A little birdie told me tonight our city attorney, Sonia Carvalho, is celebrating 30 years in legal profession tonight. And so let's give her a round of applause. Congratulations, Sonia. Congratulations. We appreciate you and your service to our city, and we thank you and we wish you the best in your continued service to our city and to the legal profession. I could just imagine, you and I were chatting a little bit about some of, over 30 years, all the politicians you had to deal with, all the personalities, all of the egos, and I can say that because I'm out here, and we really do appreciate you and your tolerance and your patience with our city and our electeds. We thank you. All right, let's move on to our council announcements tonight. These are our council announcements. We'll be brief and to the point, about 3 minutes. Council members, no need to elaborate or give us a long speech. Just tell us what you're doing. Give us announcements. We'll start with Councilman Ted Sanchez of the First Ward. Sir, you're recognized.
Yes, I want to recognize our police chief, Darren Goodman. He invited me to a backpack giveaway on the west side Sunday before last. The Singer Realty Group handed out backpacks to, I think, over 200 students on the west side. Chief was there with his wife. I was there handing out backpacks and all sorts of things to get kids started on the right foot this school year. So I appreciate that. We have Officer Hines, who maybe beat me in the push-up challenge a couple weeks ago. He'll be taking up challenges probably during the council meeting in the back room. And the last thing, I want to take note and thank my colleague, Council Member Reynoso, for proposing skating events at our two skate parks in the city. We're going to get started off with the skate park. What's the name of that? For the follow-up event at Bryce Haynes. So I want to thank you for putting that forward. It's a net positive for our city. So I think that's about it for now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Councilmember Barra.
Thank you, Mayor. On Thursday, August 4th, I did attend the Wildwood Park Neighborhood Association Ice Cream Social. That was our 22nd annual ice cream social. And they had one of the family members speak to us about how it all got started. And it just started with just neighbors welcoming neighbors into their homes. This is what it's all about. Get to know your neighbors, get involved in neighborhood association. You never know the friendships you're going to create in our city. So that was on Thursday, August 4th. On Sunday, August 14th, went to the Arrowhead Country Club. They had a grand opening ribbon cutting event. So we have new owners at the Arrowhead Country Club, and they're going to restore all the golf practices that we had lost in a couple of years. So just bear with them a little bit, and they welcome the community to go purchase their membership to help them stay open for all of you. On August 25th, the Muscopiabi Neighborhood Association will be having their quarterly meeting. It will be held at Davidson Elementary School, 2844 Davidson, starting at 6:30 p.m. And we're gonna have code enforcement and SBPD as guest speakers at that meeting. And shortly after that, from September 7th through the 9th, me and some of my colleagues will be attending the California League of Cities meeting in Long Beach. And when we come back, we'll be providing you with some of our updates of what information we gathered to better improve our city as well. That is all for me, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilmember. Councilmember Juan Figueroa, sir.
Thank you, sir. I simply want to say thank you to all the people that showed up. I recently had a meeting, a community update meeting, over at the Burger Point on Mill Street in Mount Vernon. So thank you to Mo for opening up your doors to the residents and to the meeting as well. Thank you so much. To Chief Darren Goodman, thank you, sir, for being present and partnering with us and providing updates to the community as well, and providing the education to the community. We had Lieutenants Oldendorf and Flores from the southern and western districts present, along with the district resource officers. We had, and Councilman Theodore Sanchez was present there as well. Thank you, sir, for being present. We had residents from the 3rd Ward and residents from other wards as well present, providing updates and input into what they're seeing and what they would like to see in the city as well. So thank you to all of you who did show up. We'll have another one soon. Also, I'll keep you updated. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Charette.
Thank you. Once again, congratulations on your retirement, Chief Mejia. Also, welcome to the new chief. I look forward to working with you. Have had a great relationship with Dan, and I look forward to doing the same thing with you. I wanted to report that I too attended the ribbon cutting at Arrowhead Country Club, and hopefully that's going to take off. They've got some big plans there, and that's a long time coming, and they're planning on doing a lot there. We hope we can turn that around and really make that a really nice golf course again, and they've got a lot of opportunities out there. Also was pleased, along with some of my colleagues, Councilman Sanchez on the dais and some others from staff, to be on the Breeze Airways inaugural flight to San Francisco back on the 4th. It was great fun. It was a lot of activity, a lot of hoopla. We're really excited about that, and hopefully, just like with everything else, like a McDonald's, maybe build it and they will come. We're hoping that we'll attract other airlines and that Breeze will be successful. Very, very reasonable prices to fly to San Francisco and on to Provo, and from San Francisco you can get anywhere in the world, so it's worth looking into, and the better they do, the more routes they'll have out of San Bernardino. So it's pretty exciting to fly back from Northern California and land in San Bernardino, which never done before. Always flew over San Bernardino and ended up in Ontario. So we're all really excited about that, but we need everybody to be filling those seats, as they say. So I attended a couple of neighborhood association meetings, routine stuff, Belvedere. I was, because of the flight to San Francisco, I had to miss the Wildwood, which is always, they always have a really great turnout. So with that, that's about the only announcements I have at this time, or reports.
Thank you, sir. Councilman Ben Reynoso, sir.
Hey, everyone. Start off with the Blair Summer Sesh happening this weekend. Thank you for your support, Liddy, Parks and Rec, and Public Works for cleaning up the park. I want to use the rest of my time to tell a little story. I know there's some people in the crowd who may have never met me, but I've been an organizer in this city since I was 14 years old. In the year 2018, when I moved back from Long Beach and I was working in the foster care system, moved back over here, started organizing. And we started organizing primarily around the Eastgate Air Cargo Logistics Facility that was slated to be built at the San Bernardino International Airport. The Sun made the mistake of publishing it in the paper and saying that all signs lead to Amazon. And we knew that. And so we operated from there as community organizers. So we started walking around the neighborhoods. We started canvassing in 2018 hard, hitting all the doors. Father Manuel Cardoza, who's here, I appreciate you for letting us host those town halls at your church. I consider you a friend and a very strong ally. But in 2018, we ramped that up. Community was just pissed off because, let's just by show of hands here, just for fun, how many people in this room, by show of hands, know somebody who currently works in a warehouse or who has worked in a warehouse? I know I have, exactly. And I'm pretty sure it's everybody in this room. But in 2020, in the middle of the night, we had to pull these public input hearings out of the airport board. They have two boards at the airport. They have the San Bernardino International Airport Authority, which is, for textbook's sake, it's the legitimate one. And then you've got the Inland Valley Development Agency, which was created with the sole purpose of repurposing the former Norton Air Force Base. And that looked like all the land around the airport. And what Hillwood, the developer there, has done since has built 26 warehouses on that land. This would be their culminating project, and they kept it in the dark because they knew it was going to be Amazon's very first air cargo logistics facility. They were landing with FedEx and UPS. This is going to be theirs, prime air landing there. We know about Amazon working conditions. They're terrible. The quotas are insane. The time they're testing to see how far you can push people, and then when you can't be pushed anymore, someone else fills your spot. And so that's what the reality is. Then they passed the project in the middle of the night, right before state legislature enacted something that would require them to secure benefits for the community. That whole campaign wasn't to stop the logistics facility, although in my mind, that would have been beautiful because we can't afford any more Amazon here based on the burden, the environmental, the social, just everything. It's breaking people. And so they pass it in the middle of the night. It goes through. We wanted a community benefits agreement. And I want to tell that story so that people realize when we talk about the Carousel Mall and a community benefits agreement, it started there. It started in those neighborhoods. It started with people buying in and telling us exactly what they wanted and needed in San Bernardino before it was extrapolated, before the extractive economy, before Amazon could further monopolize us. So we're disposable, essentially, until we ask for more. So what happens when you fast forward to 2022? The logistics facility was built in 2020. People have been there for about a year and a half now working. And 160 Amazon employees demanded better conditions at the warehouse, worked in 95-degree temperatures at this facility. They wanted a $5 increase because when the developer was telling us how much people would make there, it was $22 an hour. Everybody's getting $17 an hour. It takes $22 an hour by published studies to live as an individual in the city of San Bernardino. They want their 22. And so what did they do? 160 workers walked off the job. They walked straight off the job. And now they're collectively trying to organize. And I wanted to highlight that to show anybody in this room who knows a warehouse worker, because it's happened in New York a little while back, maybe 2 months ago, to show that it's possible, that it can happen right here. So everybody's raining in support. I've even been accused of raining in support. I'll take my time. Of raining in support for Amazon workers and the people that we represent. But until that fully happens, we can't stop fighting.
Okay.
And so I'm going to continually do that. And I want you to know that you have to support these workers too. That as we order the packages, think about the conditions inside the warehouses.
Sir,
these are your neighbors.
Sir.
These are your children. These are the future generations.
Councilman.
And as I'm about to welcome my child into the world in the next couple weeks, I have to fight harder because she's going to live in this world too. And so I congratulate those employees because the inspiration levels are off the charts for people who have organized in this community and people who've been deflated for too long.
Councilman, we need to move on.
And so I say
sir.
thank you to the Amazon workers
Thank you.
who are out there putting their necks on the line
Councilman.
for each other and for the communities moving forward. That's all.
Okay, thank you. Councilmember Kim Calvin, recognized. Go ahead.
Good evening, San Bernardino. Welcome to all of you. Remember that this is your home, and we are always happy to see you and have you present in the house. So this evening, I just wanted to thank a couple of community members who have been working diligently in the community to assist me with things that I cannot see and things that I cannot hear. So Mr. Andy Lara, for his continuous phone calls to let me know that there's illegal dumping going on, I appreciate that, because then we're able to make that go request. Remember that CRM request that we can do, anybody can do. You can use your phone to make that, to say that there are things in the community that you want to have Burtech come and pick up. So just use it. If we all used it, then hopefully it would deter some of those folks that are dumping. But Mr. Lara also did suggest that we have signs that say illegal dumping, and then that we may be putting cameras in the areas that are being dumped in the most. And I thought that that was a good idea as well. I want to thank Pastor Wade Ford, 16th Street, Seventh-day Adventist Church, for continuously throwing some phenomenal events and activities for the community. This past weekend, they actually had like a petting zoo, but I was driving down the street and actually saw a camel. Real talk. And some children that were actually riding on it. So they may not ever have an opportunity to, so they brought these animals to the community, and I thought it was something real fun to do for them, right? I want to thank Veronica Martindale Taylor for her for her continuous work with the youth for decades. And so without her, the community just would not have the many youth that have been organized, going to college, performing arts, all type of wonderful things that she does with them. And so I thank you, Sister Veronica, for all that you do. I want to thank the Way World Ministry for hosting myself and some staff members here from the city and other community members, where we were able to discuss, have a conversation about affordable housing that we need here in our city. And that was exciting, because there are folks who own property in the city that are able to build homes for veterans, right? Homes for our single mothers and fathers with children, partnerships with the school district, partnerships with other agencies. It was an incredible meeting, and I really thank everybody that was involved. Cassandra Searcy from the city, Nathan Freeman, thank you, sir, and Assistant City Manager Eddie Evelyn. I want to thank Amanda Hernandez from our city staff as well. She came out to the Northwest PAC this past Monday. Thank you, Amanda, to discuss all of the events, things that are taking place in the 6th Ward, and so I really, really appreciate that. Chief Mejia, we're going to miss you. Chief Cerna, welcome.
Councilman Alexander, sir.
Thank you, and good evening, San Bernardino. Congratulations, Chief Dan, on your retirement of 30 years. I don't think I'm even 30 years old. Psych. Because you won't have to bother me. Chief Cerna, get ready, my friend, because we got lots of parades to go to. Okay, I attended the 22nd Wildwood Ice Cream Social. It was fantastic. Not just me, but as you heard, several other council members working in concert with each other out there supporting Wildwood. That was a great time. They had sprinkles and all sorts of stuff, and the ice cream was free. I didn't win a single prize, though. I think everybody won a prize. We also have a nurses' pub. Not a drinking pub. It's actually a COVID-19 testing facility. It's on Highland there, and it was amazing because as you well know, I carry my granddaughter wherever I go, and I had to call them up because Councilman Sanchez asked me to drop off a certificate of their opening, and I said, "Hey, is this a drinking pub?" And they're like, "No, we're a COVID-19." I said, "Okay, all right. As long as you have soda or something with us, we can good." Oh, Parks and Recs, are they here? Is Parks and Recs here? Somebody say, hey, your concert series at Roosevelt Bowl is absolutely, if you guys didn't go down there to Roosevelt Bowl, you missed a treat. They had a whole bunch of good, excellent concerts that brought in a lot of good people. In San Bernardino, you guys got to come on out because it was absolutely awesome. Awesome with an A. Good job. Let's see here. I also attended the Arrowhead Country Club, and for Fiera, Ken, and Mike, those are the brand new owners of the Arrowhead Country Club. They are planning, it's in the 7th Ward, they're planning, I see some volunteers in the audience. They know they are planning to turn that place around. They plan to do some good stuff, so get a membership. They're not asking for thousands of dollars of membership. They're really asking for something very marginal. So if you play golf, come on out to Arrowhead Country Club. It's a great place to play golf. It is. We had a tournament on, was it Monday? Was it Monday? Was it Monday? It was Monday? Thank you, the head's shaking, yes. We had a tournament on Monday. It was full. I was out there, like I said, some volunteers in the audience. I was greeting people, shaking hands. It was good to see people coming, not just from San Bernardino, but from around the area. It was really good to see that. They've painted the inside of the country club. They're updating it as they can. It's some great stuff, hashtag positive stuff. I attended the art walk. Once again, I would like to see a little bit more participation in the art walk from our own residents. It was out there. I did a podcast. I think I call it a podcast. I don't know, podcast. What is it? You went live. I went live. But it's always hashtag change the narrative. Everybody come on out. It was great. Chris, keep up the good work, man, if that was you. Also, the IBEW, International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. I attended there along with Councilmember Charette, us working together again. It was a bunch of veterans who were starting their electrical career in that particular field. It was great. Milwaukee gave them a whole bunch of tools, and they just have to do a minimum of 8,000 hours to get their journeyman profession. 8,000 hours we learned. Absolutely awesome, but congratulations to those guys at the IBEW. Also with Councilman, what's this? Oh, this is Councilman Sanchez. We were together at Casa Ramona. Casa Ramona is going to get what is it, Chris, 4.9? 4.9, I didn't know you were Chris. $4.9 million, $4.9 million from the Department of Toxic Substances to clean up that area over there, and then they're going to build some senior affordable housing. Let me get this straight. That is worth a fan cap. Yep, John, you're absolutely right. 4.9. Thank you, former City Council Member Esther Estrada. She did a fantastic, she was the driving force behind that. So Council Member, keep on. I attended a backpack giveaway off of Marshall and E. I helped sponsor it too. So we were just giving it away to the local residents, backpacks and other issues, and registering people to vote. Oh, City Attorney, what do you got for us? What are we doing together? Do you know? What are we doing?
We submitted and were selected to make a presentation at the League of California Cities on Thursday, September, forgetting the date, but during League 8th at the conference. We're actually presenting a session on city manager form of government and how to get things done when you're not in charge, and getting the perspective of elected officials, because we all know that Councilmember Alexander likes to push the envelope and kind of, get really aggressive on some of those things. So we're having a panel discussion, and he's going to be a part of it.
And the city attorney is going to be the moderator.
Yeah.
So we're both going to be up there just doing our thing in the League of Cities.
Maybe she'll limit you to 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that. Happy Labor Day to everybody. Happy Labor Day. And remember, we won't meet again, so be solemn on 9/11. Remember those on 9/11. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. All right, let's
Mayor,
move
sorry, there's one quick thing I have to say.
Councilman Sanchez, go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much. So earlier today, I had a constituent knock on my door in tears that their neighbor had a small puppy chained up, sitting in the sun, dying of thirst. And so I immediately called up our fearless leader, Chris Watson, over in Animal Services, and I told her, all right, solve this problem, but also teach me how to fish. How do I tell my constituents how to solve this problem? Because we don't want these poor noble animals suffering in silence. So she gave me the phone number, and I want everyone to get pen and paper ready, because I need you guys to all be vigilant. When you see these poor animals suffering in silence, go out, make this call, and get them saved. So the number to Animal Services Dispatch is 909-384-1304. So the weather's been really hot. These dogs get left out in the sun. I mean, they can die of thirst out there, and that's an awful way to go. So if you see it, don't keep quiet. Call that number. I can happily report that Animal Services went out there, checked on the dog, and problem solved. So we want to make sure that we all play a part in making a better San Bernardino. So keep that phone handy and call if need be.
Okay, great. 909-384-1304. Thank you, Councilman. All right.
Just real quick.
Go ahead.
Just real quick.
Go ahead.
And I just remembered, because we're not going to be having a meeting September 7th. I just wanted to remind folks that the rendezvous back to Route 66 will be coming October 1st, so just block that date on your calendar. It's a signature event in the city, so it's a really big deal. So I just, simply because we're not going to be having a meeting September 7th.
Thank you
over
for the
a month, so I just
reminder,
wanted to
sir.
remind
Thank you.
people.
October 1st. Thank you. We got it. All right. I want to, it was a joy to be on the flight from August, the inaugural flight, along with Councilman Fred Charette and Councilman Ted Sanchez and our own Tom Rice, as well as other members of the Inland Delegation for the Inland Action, along with significant staff from our airport on the first ever commercial passenger air service from San Bernardino International Airport. My wife, the First Lady of the city, commented and said, it's actually a nice opportunity, just to no stress, no worries. It's easy on and off. I want to encourage our residents, please buy your ticket, support local. We need to support this endeavor, flybreeze.com or sbdairport.com. It's a great opportunity. We had an enjoyable weekend, and then we flew back. So $5 parking at our airport, and it's safe and secure, and so we now have a commercial passenger air service from San Bernardino International Airport. So with that, we will move on to our Citizen of the Month. This is presented by Councilman Ted Sanchez, recognizing Amanda Maldonado Arroyo.
Come up, Amanda.
Amanda is an absolute joy to work with. She's a ball of energy. She's able to tame even the most angry, outraged people, and her positivity has had a very positive effect in downtown. She has her finger in just about every good thing that happens there, and she is a light and an example for all of us. So I wanted to recognize her because she always takes a backseat. She would not be a good politician because she would never ever take credit for anything. She would always be thanking everyone else who contributed, but she carries a heavy load and gets good things done in the city of San Bernardino, and I want to give her credit tonight. So tonight is your night. I'll stop talking. I would love for you to give a message of positivity. You could do that better than I ever could. So here you go. Congratulations.
Hi, everybody. Buenas tardes, San Bernardino. So yes, I don't take recognition well. I do the work that I do because it's needed. I live in San Bernardino. I work in San Bernardino. But today I wanted to not only celebrate this for myself, but I wanted to recognize those folks that are next to me, shoulder to shoulder, each and every day. I want to start off by recognizing our neighborhood association, Council of San Bernardino. So if you want to get involved, currently we have 32 active neighborhood associations out of 56. If you want information, please visit the city website. We have some of our brothers and sisters from our community here. So great job. Thank you for being leaders in our community. I also wanted to thank the Art Walk team. We have Christopher Gonzalez, who is one of the organizers for the Art Walk. We also have Richard Solis here wearing the green shirt. Thank you guys for everything you do for our downtown. I wanted to also thank my team the Civic Center Neighborhood Association, which consists of David Freeman. We have Jose Chipres, who is the owner of the Downtown Fit Camp. Our co-president, Christopher Gonzalez. And we also have Mr. Ryan Stanley from the Enterprise Building. So thank you guys for everything you do. We appreciate you. And also, I wanted to thank our over 260 volunteers that have helped the Civic Center over the last few years. We have the Public Works team who also has helped us address over 100 quality of life issues in downtown. So thank you very much. I also wanted to thank the SBPD Explorers, and we have our friend here who's helped us out in our downtown as well, picking up trash, making sure everything looks nice and tidy for our residents when they visit. If you go downtown and you see trash or you see something on the floor, just know we have our finger on it. It will get addressed. We have eyes on the ground, so thank you guys for your support. And with that, I just want to thank my family who's here with me today. I have my kids here. Thank you for the sacrifice. I know I take a little time, but I wanted to also just tell you that in my professional life, I get to see the beauty of San Bernardino. And I might get emotional because San Bernardino has hopes and dreams, and our families out there are working hard to meet their financial goals. I get to see that each and every day, and I don't take it for granted. So again, thank you for this recognition, but I want to also pass it along with those folks. I have my sister Karen here from Uplift. I have Luis from We Are the Change as well. And I wanted to thank Supervisor Baca for always being there, being a call away. Also the council, you guys are always very supportive. I'm very nervous because I don't like to do a lot of public speaking, but thank you guys for everything. I appreciate it, and I'm very humbled. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. We've all done cleanups with her.
Okay, thank you, and congratulations to Amanda Arroyo Maldonado. Congratulations to you, ma'am. We appreciate your service to our community and your exceptional character and quality here for our community in our downtown corridor. This time, I'm going to recognize staff members. Liddy, you had a festival comment that you wanted to address the council or the public? Well, why don't we just do it, staff? I'll recognize the staff member. If you'd like to just give us a brief update on the festival, followed by Chris Watson, and then we'll go into public comments.
Good evening. I am excited to let you all know that our event festival, it's the San Bernardino Festival, where our cultures connect, will be happening at Second Lake on October 8th. At this time, I'd like anybody who's involved on our committee, I know there's a bunch of you that came tonight to speak, please stand up and be recognized. There we go. They all came ready tonight to let you know a little bit about the work that they're doing, but it just goes to show that we are unified not only as a department, as a city, but also with our community partners for our outreach that we're going to bring into this event. Almost every department is involved in this event. We are excited about the opportunities that we're going to bring to the community. Like Rob said, we're going to have we're hoping between 5,000 and 10,000 people, but I'm going to give you a highlight about our villages. We'll have a kids village. We are bringing a Ferris wheel and carnival style rides to Second Lake. Thank you. We will have an animal village where we will have an alpaca. And what else are we having? And a raptor. So we're going to have a whole petting zoo that goes wild. We have our mounted unit. Thank you, PD, for partnering with us to come out. We are going to have a community partners village headed up by Miss Veronica back there. We are going to have exhibits, which include Pacific Islander dancing, which include maybe a Chinese fire dragon dance, which include anything and everything that is culture in San Bernardino. We are going to have our exhibits and demonstrations stage, which is going to be the gazebo, all of the historical elements. We are working on paddle boats for the lake. We are working to make sure that San Bernardino realizes that Second Lake is a gem and that our city is a gem made of all cultures that are going to come together. So we hope that not only our council, but everybody in our city comes out and supports everything that we're doing. And I want to thank all of the community partners that are showing up every week for our meetings. So thank you.
Thank you.
Are we going to have water cannons, Director? Are we going to have water cannons for the lake, like Bellagio? Are we gonna, oh, okay. All right.
Ms. Watson, I'll recognize you for a few minutes here regarding your public update.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I appreciate the opportunity to speak. So as Liddy mentioned, we are going to have an alpaca. It's not a camel, but it's a little close. We're also planning on having a costume contest so people can bring their dogs, and we're going to have a little costume contest. We're getting ready to put right? Okay. We have some giveaways for people who win the costume contest for their pets. And so we're just really excited about bringing all the animal lovers and in together with the festival to celebrate all of the cultures and everything good that's going on in San Bernardino. So thank you.
Thank you. At this time, we'll move on and proceed into our public comment portion of tonight's meeting. This time is reserved for public comments under 60 minutes, and we ask that individuals in our auditorium please utilize both podiums. Both podiums will be available when I call your name if you stand on deck for us to help us facilitate the speed as we do want to conduct business for tonight and our city. In-person speakers will be heard first, followed by remote speakers. If you're speaking remotely, please use the mute device system afforded to you on your computer. At the end of the verbal comments, we'll recognize the city clerk for any other additional comments. This time, I will call forward the following names. Reverend Martindale, Sharon or Shaman, I can't read. Sharon, are you here? Wonderful, thank you, ma'am, if you stand on deck for me. Oscar Rivas, are you here, Oscar? Okay, there you are, sir. All right, Oscar Rivas and Mike Hartley. Reverend Martindale, go ahead.
Yes. Mayor and council, it's truly an honor to be here tonight. I just wanted to add what was stated. I stand before you to promote your wonderful festival for the city of San Bernardino. We came out of bankruptcy. We were in the isolation of COVID. So this is something that our residents need, some uplifting and some encouragement. And so this is a beautiful thing that we can celebrate one another and help build up the city of San Bernardino.
And I'm here as a partner for our community village. I'm Karen Suarez, the director of Uplift San Bernardino. We're really excited because we have all of the posters available and banners, so we hope that folks will reach out and ask us to bring them so we can promote this event and invite the whole community. But most importantly, we want our community partners who love San Bernardino, who love our families, who have resources, who want to connect with other community-based organizations to come out and celebrate. I know there's a lot of beautiful history at this lake and at this park, and we want to hear your stories. So stay tuned for social media campaigns. Stay tuned for more information on how to get involved. The application's up. There's a QR code on the posters. You should start seeing some banners in the downtown businesses, and join us on October 8th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. on Saturday. At Seacom Lake Park here in the beautiful city of San Bernardino.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker is Sharon Glodman, followed by Oscar Rivas, Mike Hartley, and Ray Culberson.
I'm Sharon Glodman. I'm petitioning the tearing down of the Carousel Mall. I want to be able to turn it into a rehabilitation center because I'm going through a court case where I'm put in a family domestic dispute. And my mom is a senior, and somebody said something about seniors, so I'm reaching out to the community to not tear that down so that people won't be in jail unjustly.
Thank you, ma'am. Oscar Rivas, sir, followed by Mike Hartley and Ray Culberson.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Oscar Rivas. I am your favorite recreation coordinator for the City of San Bernardino Parks and Recreation Community Services Department. I'm also a San Bernardino City resident for over 25 years. Long time in the 3rd Ward and most recently in the 5th. I'm here to talk about festival. I am part of the committee doing the exhibits. So yeah, we're gonna have Tahitian. We're going to have Tahitian drumming, some hula dancers, some haka dancers. I got Aztec dancers, ballet folklorico. I am looking to communicate with one of the Buddhist temples here in San Bernardino who happen to be Chinese. So if anyone speaks Mandarin and would like to help me communicate with that community, please contact me, 909-601-1566. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike Hartley, followed by Ray Culberson. John Schollenberger. John, are you here tonight? Thank you, sir. Stand on deck for us. Paige Miller, Claudia Bautista, Mr. Hartley.
Hello, Mr. Reynoso. I'm glad we have an activist on our dais as a council person. I don't think you actually care about San Bernardino. I think you care about your pet peeves that you have going on and always have. I worry about council people voting on things that involve my ward but doesn't live in my ward, and you're one of them. You make me very nervous. Your criticism of the police, your criticism of everything that this government has to offer, you're against. The police I have a problem with because I don't know that you've taken any of their classes like the Citizens Academy class where they have the firearms stimulation, which puts you in the place of a policeman and he has to make a decision on whether to shoot somebody or get killed. I went through that class, and it's very telling of what a police officer goes through. And when they showed the first clip and I had a Glock in my hand, I waited too long to see the person with the gun, and I got killed. On the second clip, I shot the office manager. On the third clip, I got killed again. So I know I got to go home, but some of these police officers don't get to go home. They have mothers and they have children. They have to make a split-second decision on life and death, and it's not easy to do. So put yourself in their place. Try it sometime, and that's all I have to say to you.
Ray Culberson, followed by John Schollenberger, Paige Miller. And I'm going to talk to the audience, please. You can reserve your comment. We don't boo you, so just be respectful to all comments, please. Thank you. Ray Culberson, followed by, let's see here, John Schollenberger. Mr. Culberson.
Okay, I'm Ray Culberson. I'm a resident of San Bernardino. I have property in San Bernardino. I have schools in San Bernardino. I have my heart and soul in San Bernardino. I was here when San Bernardino was a great American city. I was here when we used to come to City Hall and get our $8 check for doing weeder bait when we worked and we learned work ethics. I was here when they had the CETA program where we could go work in county offices and learn work ethic. I was here when I had to figure out what to do after they killed my best friend 2 feet away from me in the Carousel Mall, and I had to survive that. I was here when I lived in some foster homes. I was here when I went through all of those things. I'm a guy who has been in San Bernardino, in the city of San Bernardino, came back after graduating from Berkeley after all those things, came back into San Bernardino City Schools, came back, worked in the community, and even in my apartments, people pay $650 for a 2-bedroom apartment because I'm not trying to gouge them. Let people live, let them grow. I'm in a situation where I'm at dismay because of the fact that I go places where nobody else wants to go, where that community is that people are supposedly afraid of. Where I go into communities where people need the most help, where they need the most service, where they need the most activism, they need the most assistance. And what I'm looking at in this particular situation is in San Bernardino, I just had enough. Some days you guys got to take off your political hats and get to your human heart. That's what you ran for the office for. You don't have to sit there and be stiff all the time and follow the next political lead. This is all sides. Some days there are certain issues out there that we got to take seriously because San Bernardino needs people who are going to take it seriously and have the passion to do it. I've been almost shot on the street accidentally by gang members that didn't know me and then came back and apologized. I've been targeted in the city, almost fired 13 times for trying to help kids, but I'm still standing, and I survived all the game, and I survived all the politics and the whole life. And what I'm asking people to do now is that there's a lot of things that are happening in San Bernardino. There are a lot of people that have hurt feelings. And we have to, as a leaders in this community, we have to find a way to bridge those gaps, to help people understand and help them get the help they need, and stop pointing the finger at one side or the other. Just start doing the work, getting in and galvanize. I've been doing this work all along. I am an army of one. I don't need anybody to have my back. I walk in San Bernardino by myself. If there's no political people behind me, I will walk in anyway. But what I'm saying is this: enough is enough. City needs help on all sides, and we have to come together and sometimes use our human hearts to do that. And we got to have that passion. And that's it. That's all I have.
Thank you, sir. John Schollenberger. John Schollenberger, followed by Paige Miller and Claudia Bautista.
Good evening. I wanted to take a minute to come personally. I am a member of the Arrowview community, neighborhood community. I wanted to recognize the Public Safety Commission. We've had a serious issue going on with reckless driving and speeding on 28th, specifically from E to Arrowhead Avenue. We've taken measures over the years to combat this issue, but we've got people coming through there from 30th down 28th to avoid the lights, anywhere at 40 to 60 miles an hour. Then we have the quad runners doing wheelies through the community, and it's put a lot of people in a lot of jeopardy. So I wanted to say we've come before them twice in the last, from June, and our communities met with them again, and they're seriously looking at what can be done to save lives. This is what it boils down to: public safety. I want to recognize Damon Alexander, our councilman, for being there from the beginning to support us on this effort. He said, "Whatever you need, I'm here for you." That's what we want from our councilman, his support, because he knows this is for the community and for safety. And I want to recognize Lieutenant Castro, Jose Castro. He went to that meeting for us. And he had officers come out there to do an assessment to see firsthand what was going on over there. And he said, yeah, he says, I only asked him to convey the message to the committee, and he just went ahead and showed up on our behalf. So our committee went down there and spoke to them, and ultimately what I'm trying to say is, when the community comes together and works together, you can get a lot of things done. There's a lot you can do. You got to put aside a lot of the politics. It's part of life, but you know what? When it comes down to public safety, that's the most important thing. And so if I encourage any of you out there, don't just stand around and complain about something. You have council people here that they need to be made aware of what you're going through. So if they don't know it, they can't help you. It needs to start there. We've got a great code enforcement department now that's beefed up. And they're active, trust me, and we're grateful for them. So again, I encourage everybody in San Bernardino, please get involved and you do your part too to help make your community a better place. One more recognition, Liddy. You've got such a wonderful reputation in our community. You are bringing the city forward by bringing our parks to where they need to be for these kids. This is for the next generation. They need a place to go. Stay with it. Council, support this lady. Support her. Don't drag her through the mud with politics. Support this lady. Because we are, and if we don't like what we see, we will be down here to speak to it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Paige Miller, followed by Claudia Bautista. Jesse Alcocer. Jesse, are you here? Jessica. I'm sorry, Jessica. Thank you, ma'am. Okay, Ms. Miller.
Are we on? Okay, good evening. Spay and neuter, spay and neuter, spay and neuter. We support the animal services. Many of us were activists trying to make sure that we got the director of animal services. So, and may I say, all of the activists, the animal, we did it on our own time, our own dollar, and paid our own gas money. Nobody paid us to stand in front of this council. So thank you also, Director. Thank you to the San Bernardino Police Department. Thank you for picking up the 4 tons of trash at various locations every Monday, created by homeless encampments. Thank you for getting the fentanyl and drugs and guns off the streets. Everyone cares about the children. That's your children that they just saved. And also to the San Bernardino Police Department for responding to the over 50 homicides in this city. You do the work that most people, they don't have the ability to show up and do. So welcome, Chief Goodman. We're looking forward to your strong leadership. Based on your qualifications, we know you will be successful and you will be fair. Any necessary reporting on crimes, on ongoing investigations, Council, please. Those reports need to come from only the Chief of Police. You hired this man, let him stay in his lane and do his job. Thank you, Council members and City Manager, for the approval of 20 code enforcement officers and for hearing the community and small business owners. Initially, regarding the vending issue, there were very few who went through the proper training and received legitimate licenses. Thank you, Councilmember Ibarra, for clarifying the legitimate process. Thank you, Mr. Ojeda, who spoke at one of the meetings. You serve as an example of following the rules and developing a successful food truck festival. And thank you, Councilman Sanchez, for standing up to the ACLU for your residents. The city of San Bernardino does not need to be disrespected by anyone or any nonprofit group. Who thinks it's okay to dump grease and blacken our sidewalks, to go to the bathroom on the streets, to feel entitled to leave trash and debris for the licensed businesses and the real entrepreneurs in this city? It is not okay. This is a health and safety issue, and it is an assault on our small businesses, and it is an assault on this city. The same rules need to apply to all. Whether you're a wealthy developer trying to buy a council seat, or you think you can set up shop on any avenue you want to, and you don't have to follow any rules because you're entitled. No. Same rules apply to all. And to the council, a note: where is the indignation and the call to action for parents or grandparents to step up and parent their children, whether it's the vape shop on Highland or the miners? Thank you. Need to hear from you.
Our next speaker is Claudia Bautista, followed by Jessica Alcocer, followed by Andy Lara. Ms. Bautista.
Good evening, members of the council, mayor and city staff. Sorry, I'm just trying to recollect my thoughts after the last lady spoke right now. Anyways. My name is Claudia Bautista. I'm the Deputy Director for POC, the Pomona Economic Opportunity Center. Standing with me are day laborers from the corner on Highland and Lincoln, who we have been here representing on multiple city council meetings since November 2021. After the police raid that led to about 25 workers and vendors being ticketed, multiple having their vehicles impounded, and some being charged with misdemeanors for simple act of waiting for work. We want to thank the city council members for unanimously voting 2 council meetings ago to put us on the agenda on future meetings to further discuss long-term solutions. We want to thank the city manager and other city officials for visiting our center in Pomona and for having multiple conversations with our organizations, both POC and ICIJ, about continuing this collaboration. We know this is only the beginning in a series of conversations until we see a worker center and a vendor center in this city. We look forward to continuing these discussions. The workers have asked us to reiterate the importance of keeping the corner on lot 2208 at 1033 West Highland, because they have historically been there for over 15 years, and that is where employers know where to look for them. We also want to reiterate the importance of making this project equally beneficial for both vendors and laborers, and day laborers, as well as other low-wage immigrant workers and community members in the city of San Bernardino. This collaboration between day laborers and vendors has been in place for many years, and supporting this existing relationship will only strengthen their contribution to the city. I also want to submit an additional 88 signatures to the petition we submitted at the July 20th council meeting. This brings the total number of petitions to 932. And I want to submit a letter of support from the Latino Roundtable. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Jessica, welcome.
Hello, everybody. I am also trying to gather my thoughts after that comment. My name is Jessica Alcocer. I am an economic justice organizer with the Inland Coalition for Immigrant Justice right here in San Bernardino. I want to firstly thank the city for taking the first step to solidify our collaboration in creating a day laborer and street vendor center. I am here to also reiterate the importance of continuing to evolve this process as a joint effort to benefit both groups, as their labor and businesses are often depending on one another and need to be supported equally. There is still much to be addressed, and I want to make sure that it is clear that what we need is not just shelter for day laborers and not just a kitchen for the vendors, but also a place that fosters upward mobility and providing a space for them to collaborate, learn how to grow their businesses, and have access to county and city resources, like a clear and accessible way to process their permits, which is, I know, very important to a lot of folks, including the vendors who want to do this and accomplish this. Many day laborers depend on the meals prepared by street vendors during their long work hours, and vendors depend on them to continue providing for their families here in San Bernardino. These two groups have formed a symbiotic relationship and have contributed to the San Bernardino communities economically and culturally. Supporting them equally will enable them to continue growing their micro businesses and enrich our communities. Albeit we're far from our vision, but I applaud the city for taking this project on and working with ICIJ and PEOC, two community organizations that are deeply rooted in this area, to address the needs of the undocumented low-wage workers in San Bernardino. And I hope you all take this opportunity to stand out, make San Bernardino stand out, and make it a city to follow in the future. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Let's see here. I'm trying to read the right. Andy Lara? Sir, thank you. Frank Audi. Frank, are you here? Get you on deck here. And Jesus Ontiveros. Jesus, are you here? That's you? All right, sir. Welcome.
Hi, thank you. It's very nice to be here. Long-time listener, first-time caller. So I'm very happy to be here. So yes, my name is...
By the way, I want to interrupt you. I love your shirt. I'm a C-SPAN junkie since a kid. I was a kid watching all that. So.
Yeah, I love it. Love it. Well, I'm just here to speak in support of the State Street expansion. I think it's a great opportunity to impact the community in a positive way by bringing new businesses and injecting new life into the 6th Ward. Over on the 6th Ward, we are in desperate need of new business. We would like more grocery stores, restaurants, drugstores, and other things like that that'll bring health and wellness to our ward. The State Street expansion will bring much needed assistance. Since I've lived here, we've been plagued by rampant illegal dumping, homelessness, and a general sense of malaise since, if you've ever been there, it's pretty bleak and treeless. It's just a dry, treeless, smoggy expanse. And as you begin development, please consider adding more trees and grassy areas along State Street, since there is no grass or trees anywhere nearby. As the planet heats up and the Inland Empire fries like an egg, the 6th Ward feels the impact more intensely, since there are such few opportunities to take a light walk in the shade or access indoor cooling via indoor shopping or dining. My family and I regularly go to Rialto or Redlands for dinner and a stroll, but it would be really nice if we could just go down the street. I urge you to please think of children and families as you proceed with this development. Please consider making San Bernardino a place where people feel safe and happy to raise a family. Make us proud, City Council. Thank you.
Thank you, Frank. Frank Audi.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank. And I was listening to everybody in the podium painting a rosy picture for the city of San Bernardino. And I thought maybe I was living here 25 years, but they're talking about different city. the city I lived in, I've been complaining about something for almost like 4 years, okay? And nobody is listening. Looks like the podium, the people on the podium, they don't read, they don't listen, they don't even, I don't want to say it. Okay, so, and then he had something more about the, the animals. And I have a story while I was going to school in Arbor, Michigan. Okay, we have a white lady who had her dog on her patio, and she was doing steaks and give it to the dog. And at that time, we're poor people, we're students. And at that time, I wished we are dogs, so that lady, we get steaks that the lady is giving to her dog. Once again, I don't want to be the odd voice, okay? But I don't know what to do otherwise. I mean, I've been listening, I've been attending the city council for almost 16 times, and I don't know what you guys do after we just talk, and then after that, I don't know what to do for us. I don't think that it's just talking and venting our frustration, and then nothing done about it, okay? And I don't know, maybe there's some reason. I was talking to Mr. Kishta, okay, this afternoon. I sent him almost like 3 emails, and he said he never received any of them. So I think there is those clerks or whatever this, they just don't, take care of our communication with you guys, or just dump it in the trash can. And I don't know what's the end of it, So what do? I go complain. I went and complained to Mr. Baca, okay, and the city and the county, okay, and he did something good. Then it back to the city, and the city just shovel it and don't do nothing about it. So thank you very much. I give us the rest of my time.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Jesus Ontiveros, followed by Luanda Rangel.
Sí, buenas noches. Mi nombre es Jesús Ontiveros. Soy jornalero de la esquina de San Bernardino en la Highland y Lincoln, residente de esta ciudad. Estoy aquí en representación de mi esquina para apoyar la propuesta del Centro de Trabajadores para Jornaleros y Vendedores Ambulantes. Gracias a la ciudad y al concilio por considerar nuestra petición de crear un centro de trabajadores. Les pedimos sea en el lote 2208 en la dirección 1033 West Highland Avenue, San Bernardino, California, ya que hemos estado ahí por más de 15 años y nuestros patrones van ahí a buscarnos. También queremos asegurarnos que se va a continuar incluyendo a los vendedores ambulantes en estas discusiones. Gracias.
Hello, my name is Jesus Oliveros. I am a laborer at the corner of San Bernardino and Highland and Lincoln, and I also reside in the city as well. The reason why I'm here today is I'm representing the corner where I work, and I'm here also to let you know that I do encourage you and I do support the proposal for your proposal, and I also support the workers and all the laborers that are working there. Thank you to the city, and I also would like for you to consider the petition, and I support you in the fact that you are creating, and I also would like to thank you for supporting the petition to have this petition. We asked that at lot 2208, which is the address on 1033 West Highland Avenue in San Bernardino, we have been working there for the past 15 years, and we are asked also by our bosses there who ask us and find us there so that we can find jobs. We would also like to ask that you can continue including all of the laborers there, and please continue to support us. Thank you.
Thank you for the translation. I just want to clarify, it's not going to look like that in the future. We just haven't gotten the equipment yet. It's supposed to be live streamed online. It's supposed to be here at the next meeting, so it won't come from a woman sitting in the crowd. Sorry about that.
Okay. Next we have Lawanda Rangel, followed by Darlo, is it Murray? Followed by Luis Ojeda.
I'd like to say good evening, council men and women that's sitting on the board tonight. As I go around San Bernardino, the city of San Bernardino, I have been seeing great things here in our cities. I've been seeing sidewalk fix, the new pavement. I've been seeing homeless move. Damien been there on the job. And it's just a blessing to see things getting done. It's a blessing to have each and every last one of you guys. But we need the next mayor of San Bernardino to be Jim Pittman. Let's make it happen. Jim Pittman has been our elected city attorney for San Bernardino for over 26 years. Let's make it happen. Jim Pittman has been a former chair of Police Commission. Let's make it happen. Jim Pittman has been in the U.S. Army Reserve for 6 years. Let's make it happen. Jim Pittman has been and still is a lifelong resident of San Bernardino. Let's make it happen. Jim has a long life of endurance, meaning to remain firm and to be committed, obligated, and respectful and responsibility. Jim is running for the love that he has for the city of San Bernardino, the love he has for the people of San Bernardino, the commitment of making the city of San Bernardino thrive. Let's make it happen. On November the 8th, 2022, we have a decision to make for the city of San Bernardino. What does the Word of God say about making decisions? The Word of God provides profound wisdom for making choices in our life. Remember the advice of the Scripture to trust in the guidance of God. When making decisions, trust in the Lord with all thy heart and not lean into thy own understanding. And all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct your paths. Proverbs 3, 5, 6. We need to make good decisions when it comes to San Bernardino. Crime is at a record high. Homeless is at a record high. Killing, shooting our children is at a record high. Inflation is at a record high. Absolutely, let's make it happen. Rebuilding San Bernardino, it is time for us to make a good decision when it comes to our future hopes, dreams, leaving a legacy for the next generation. For the people of San Bernardino, we need someone that will take action on day one. This is why we need Jim Pittman for the next mayor of San Bernardino. Let's make it happen.
Thank you. Next, we have Darlo Murray, followed by Luis Ojeda, and then Jim Penman.
Greetings. I was here last, I believe the last council meeting. I'm not for sure if it was the last one, but I want to say thank you on behalf of the family to Councilman Damon Alexander, Councilwoman Kimberly Calvin, and Councilmember Ben Reynoso. Thank you for your heart, your words of encouragement to the family, of Rob Adams. There was a few of us that wanted to speak on that day, but because of everything else that was going on, we were unable to. So we just want to say thank you for your kind words. To the others, I'm ashamed that, for a tragedy to happen like that, and not to hear anything of concern or any type of change that needs to be made. I wish that Mr. Goodman was here, but what I wanted to share was that we are thankful to have, let me just say this. I only have a few minutes, but when I spoke to Goodman a while ago before he was in office, one of the issues that I brought up to him was that San Bernardino Police Department needs proper training. They need proper training. There's a difference of, how the sheriff department de-escalates situations that occur in the city. They seem to know how to handle situations when it happens in the city. That's what we see from the sheriff department. With the San Bernardino Police, I lived in the city for almost all of my life, and I'm not trying to pick at y'all right now, but from the age of 13 years old, I will walk down the street, and instead of asking me where I'm going, I have a gun in my face. So it's something about the training that needs to be done. The spirit of Panacucci needs to go. I'm sorry. But another thing is this. When we happen to, oh man, Lord Jesus. So I heard a comment earlier when a man said that the police know how to make split-second decisions. We have seen time and time again that a young man could shoot up a school with an AR-15 and have it in his hand, and the police do nothing to him. They de-escalate the situation. But for some strange reason, when a black man, is running from the police, or maybe back before they had cameras, has a pager on his hip, you guys assume that, or you feel like you have to fear for your life and you have to take the person out. There's a difference in the way that things are handled. And I know I only have 5 seconds, but I just want to say this. Please, we need proper training in San Bernardino PD. Y'all need to be like the sheriff department, or else the sheriff department should take over San Bernardino, in my opinion. Thank you.
Okay. Next we have Luis Ojeda. Luis Ojeda, followed by the antepenultimate speaker, Jim Penman.
Hello, good evening. My name is Luis Ojeda, president and founder of We Are the Change. And I've been in San Bernardino for a few years now, trying to do good work for the community. And I just want to congratulate you guys. I'm here specifically for festival, or festival in Spanish. So, there's so many things that I want to talk about it, but I only have 3 minutes. But I want to invite everyone to participate in this event. Before we used to complain about, the city's not doing anything, they don't want to spend the money, they don't care about the community. Well, now they're trying to spend the money for the community. We have seen the park, the Second B Lake Park, how beautiful it's coming. But I'm going to ask you guys and the community a favor. Don't come and start criticizing and say, why don't you guys do this? Why don't you guys do that? We're going to need a lot of volunteers. We're going to be one of the villages, because it's going to be all village. And we're going to be in charge of the food village because of our event that it was SV Food Fest. We're going to bring it back sometime later. But it's very important that the community gets involved in this, because as you guys already heard, it's going to be a big event. It needs a lot of people to get involved. Thankfully, there's many other organizations that are helping, that are getting involved, that are willing to do the legwork, but it's not enough. For these kind of events, because we have done cleanups, the event of SV Food Fest, we need a lot of people. So if you want to see results in San Bernardino, start by asking yourself, how can I help? And I think this is the opportunity with this event, because festival or festival is where all the people of San Bernardino is going to join forces, good energy, and whatever people says about San Bernardino, that it's the worst city, I find that there's so much opportunity, because like they said in real estate, location, location, location. And we have one of the best locations, throughout the region. So please, people, let's take advantage of it. Let's join forces and help this event festival be a success, not for the elected officials, but for the whole community. Let's start having people talk about San Bernardino for the positive things that we're doing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Jim Penman, followed by Odwin King and Malibu.
I was going to speak on something different tonight, but I saw Ray Culverson reminded me of an incident that occurred 42 years ago. I was director of the Home and Neighborly Service, and in the city of Fontana, we had an African-American linesman shot in the back while he was up on a telephone pole. At that time, Fontana had a very active chapter of the Ku Klux Klan, and it was believed that they were responsible for that particular shooting. We decided to do something about it, sort of predecessors, grandpas of Mr. Reynoso and the community organizers. We met at the home with some African-American pastors and other people, and we decided to do a march in the city of Fontana to protest that particular shooting, and we did that. And we applied for a parade permit, but the city of Fontana denied that permit. We marched anyway. It was an interesting time. Ray's uncle, Swap Culberson, walked with me. Swap had grown up at the Home and Neighborly Service, where I was director, and I'd known him well since he was a younger man. And there were about 150 of us and about 300 people across the street from City Hall. We were in front of City Hall, and they were yelling, and I was a little apprehensive, and Swap probably jokingly said to me, "Jim, don't worry, those policemen will protect us." And I looked at those police officers, and I was not so sure. But in any event, there was a little violence, not too much. A couple of arrests were made. Long and the short of it was the city of Fontana city attorney filed criminal charges against 5 of the leaders of that march. One of them was Swap. And I was a new attorney at the time, and I, along with 4 of my colleagues, volunteered our services. We challenged the Fontana parade permit ordinance, and we were successful in having it declared unconstitutional. And as a result of that, our clients were freed. Mr. Culberson and I have talked about that incident on a number of occasions. Swap passed away some years ago. I spoke at his funeral. But San Bernardino, Fontana has changed a lot. San Bernardino has as well. But we need to still change more. And we need people with experiences at all different areas, whether it's walking in a march protesting a Ku Klux Klan activity, or as city attorney defending police officers who were sued. We need that broad spectrum for our next mayor. Former Mayor Judith Valles is hosting a fundraising event at her home a week from Thursday, the 25th of August at 5:30. And for my campaign, she chairs it. And I would invite anyone who wants to come to drop by. We'd be happy to see you, including all of you folks sitting at the dais. Thank you for your time.
Odwin King, followed by Malibu.
Hello, my name is Odwin King. Hello, council members. Just to bring you up to speed, I'm also a representative of Rob Adams. And I seen a couple of faces in the audience, how they got kind of tight. But just to bring you up to speed, he was shot 7 times in the back with a large caliber automatic weapon by the San Bernardino Smash Department. And I'm not going to get up here and throw a lot of mud, but I want to say that it is all of our duties, because one day that's going to be your son. It's going to be your daughter. It's going to be your auntie or your uncle. Everyone has fallen off the beaten path in life. They do not deserve death for that. Everybody deserves their day in court. It is not fair for us to be discarded like trash or like we're insignificant because of lack of education or lack of location or lack of this or lack of that. We are people, and we deserve the same justice and honor as everyone else in the world. And it's just sad because we feel so helpless. And the sad part about it is everyone you talk to, even some of these reputable people that I've met, they say nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to change. Well, what are we going to do to change it? What are we going to do to change it? Just like the gentleman said the other day, I mean, the police department and the people in these elected officials should be upheld to a higher standard than a regular civilian. It's almost like an adult getting down on a child's level. What do we do? And they say one bad apple spoils the bunch. So what do we do? If we don't fix it, it's going to spread. It's going to be a gang of them. There's going to be just so many of them, and then nobody cares. Somebody has to do something. Somebody has to have empathy enough to care enough to stop it. It's too much. And you know, it's just sad because one day, I pray it don't happen to you, but if your 13-year-old son just starts crying and asking, why did they take my brother? Why? Why? And for some of you, you might have seen it, you know, before, and it might not mean anything to you, but until it hits your doorstep, until it hits your household. Because trust me and believe, one day something will happen. It may not be this, but we have to care enough. We have to care enough to make sure everybody gets what they need. I mean, it's just not fair. It's not fair that we're discarded like trash, or just because I got tattoos all over my face and this and that and the other. These kids, it's a trend now to have tattoos. Just because they look like monsters don't mean that they are. Everybody deserves their day in court. And I just want to say, I just pray one day that it doesn't happen to any of you. God bless each and every one of you.
Okay, thank you. What's your name, ma'am?
Malibu?
Come on down. Go ahead.
You don't know my name?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, Mayor.
Welcome.
You know, it's a lot going on in San Bernardino. It really is. And I've sat and listened to all the sides. And I want to take accountability for what I've done and came short for helping our community. And I want everybody to take accountability for being short. No one is working at 100%. Not the police, not the city, not the city council. No one is working at 100%. In order for us to work at 100%, we all need to come together at the same time, right? And so with that being said, I want to thank the director of Parks and Recs. I want to thank the director of the Animal Control as well. Sandra, I reached out to you about the dogs and dads thing, and you went in action steps, started sending me resources. Miss Calvin, I reached out to you as well, and you started like, look, what can we do? This is one of the things that I think that we can do. First, hold ourselves accountable, okay, everybody. Let's get the family values back. There's no one being held accountable for nothing. We have to really address the mental health issues that we have in San Bernardino that's causing all these issues. The drug abuse, whether you're using it or selling it, those things need to be looked at as well. I hear the stories about the police taking good action about going out there and getting some stuff done. I appreciate that. Definitely want a personal accountability for yourself and how you help others. I really think that's important. So one of the things that I've done is called a lot of officials and regular people and gang members to the table. And we're going to be doing some things in the community of the hoods. We're going to be at the community centers actively doing stuff. And we can say this and that, but until we get in the hoods and make change by participating with the different events, it's not going to happen. It's going to take all of us. We can point fingers at this person, but we've all fell short, in my opinion. All of us have fell short. Everybody. We are headed in a good area, in my opinion. I like that the chief is an African-American man, and I appreciate that we have 3 council members as well. I think that San Bernardino's going in a good way. It looks like it's not, but you know, when change comes, it doesn't look pretty. Okay, so I think that San Bernardino is going to be headed for some good change, and I want to be one of those people who are part of that change. September 17th, we're going to be doing a Dogs and Dads event at the Delman Heights Community Center. I invite all of you to come out. I also need some funds from you guys. I'm going to be looking to get some food vendors out there where the community can come and get the free money, free food. We don't want to charge them, so I'm gonna be touching bases with some more of you guys. I think that this is something we need to get on board with. Let's knock it off and forgive. And that's what my organization is called. And I think we all need to get on board with the real problem, which is black on black hate. I'm sorry to say that, but that's what it boils down to in San Bernardino, that we have too much black on black hate. And we can't just hold, the police shot us. That's not okay, but what about when we shoot each other?
Okay, thank you. Ms. City Clerk, that concludes our public comment in person. Any Zoom or other accommodations?
No, we have no Zoom comments or no ADAs.
Let's move on to tonight's calendar on discussion. This is item number 1, annual update on commercial cannabis regulatory. It's packet page 16. They're in your packet agenda for those viewing in their audience. And we will turn to our city manager. Mr. City Manager.
Yes, it's the annual report on the activities within the commercial cannabis regulatory program, and the presentation tonight will be led by Stephanie Sanchez of Community and Economic Development. Stephanie, it's all yours.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Tonight, staff brings you the annual update on our commercial cannabis regulatory program. Currently, the city has 21 awarded license holders. Of those 21, we have 12 open and operating, and 9 still working to become open and operational. As far as our open locations, we have 6 new ones in the last year. And all of our program together, as far as revenues are concerned, have brought in nearly $4.5 million. And that consists of application fees, business permit fees, their annual regulatory fees, and our cannabis tax revenues. In regards to our cannabis crime stats, the police department and staff work together to monitor all of the licensed cannabis locations. Annually, they run an incident report, and thankfully this year, PD reported no significant calls for service. As far as our cannabis litigation is concerned, thanks to council's recommendations in the last year, the city has been able to settle all outstanding litigation except for one, which legal is still working to resolve. The good news is, with the work that staff has done to streamline the application process, we are getting ready to reopen our application process. At the time that we wrote this report and just before coming to council, staff took a development code amendment to Planning Commission as part of our cleanup and streamlining efforts. That development code amendment will come to council in October. This development code amendment would essentially be our last step in that streamlining process right before we open it back up to the public. Our intention is to reopen the application process this fall. So overall, the program is doing well. We're on a consistent track of opening new locations, which is great. As far as the update, that concludes our update. This is a receive and file. There is no formal action, but staff is available for any questions.
Thank you again for staff presentation on that. Seeing none, and thank you very much for tonight's presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. This might be a record, folks. We might just finish tonight before 9 o'clock. We're on a roll, so let's go into our consent calendar.
I had a question.
Okay, Councilman Figueroa. Ms. Sanchez, please, if you would return back to your desk here.
Well, I clicked the thing and it keeps disappearing. I don't.
All right, we have one, just for honorary sake, we're going to have one question.
Yeah, just one question. You mentioned that there's still how many pending licenses? You said, I think you said 12, or?
So we have 21 total, 12 open and operating, 9 working to become open and operational.
9 still waiting to become. And now, if I remember correctly, there was a clause in there, the use it or lose it, if they have like a year to open up. Shouldn't they've just been bumped already by now, if we were to keep to that standard?
Right, so our 12-month limitation applied to new license awardees. So the ones that are new are in compliance. They've posted their bond, they're working on their tenant improvements, and they're currently under construction.
Okay, it's just that I remember that we included the current ones going through the process to be part of that, the clock was ticking on them as well. So that's just, I just wanted to clarify that. I thought that they were part of that clock ticking.
Not that 12-month stipulation. That was for new awardees into the process, but staff is working hand in hand with all of our awarded permit holders, and we're making sure we walk them through the process. We're in constant communication, so everybody is on track. We should have 5 more that are open by the end of the year.
Okay, thank you. No other questions.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move on to our consent calendar for tonight. These are items number 3 3 through 27.
Mayor?
We'll do them in one
I'm
fell
sorry.
swoop. Yes, ma'am.
I actually just need to make a comment about item number 3 on the consent calendar.
Yes, ma'am.
So there was an error on the agenda, and the staff recommendation request to accept and appropriate was $20,000, but it should have been for $200,000 for item number 3.
Item number 3 on consent calendar. Can you speak up? Because I didn't hear you, and we have one.
Sorry. For the, on the agenda, the recommendation indicated that it was to approve and, appropriate $20,000, but it should have said $200,000. The staff report did say $200,000, but I just needed to clarify that.
Okay, so item number 3 is where you see 20,000, there's a 0 missing, it should be $200,000. With that amended clarification, is there a motion for?
Motion to approve.
Move consent calendar by Charette, balanced by, second by Sanchez. Are there any polls? If not, we'll take
I just have a question, just a question. On number 10, the professional service agreement, is that by the city manager? Is that your agreements there, or is that the city attorney's?
Actually, that one is Barbara Whitehorn.
Are those local vendor preferences? I'm going to ring that bell until it finally comes home. Are those local vendor preferences?
These are actually primarily for attorneys, I believe. I don't know, Sonia, if you want to speak to that, but these are for the attorneys who provide specialized services to us on various types of legal cases.
Yeah, so my understanding, and as we've explained to the council, we have a system through risk management, and risk management goes through our third-party administrators, through our insurance coverage. There are people that are qualified and go on a panel to represent the city. So my understanding is these contracts before you are carryovers from cases that the city's been involved in for some years. So I don't know what process is used to select them. I know you have asked for local preferences. It's not something I have forgotten. And as we've looked at it and as we go forward to hire new people, these are not new people because they're continuing on cases.
Right.
We have begun to include people that are local in the RFP process. We send out letter requests.
Look, local vendor preference and minorities, I can tell by a last name, but African-American companies or anything like that, I guess, good. I'm glad I can have all the directors' attention because I'm looking at you guys too when it comes to professional service contracts when we do that kind of stuff. Local vendors, and minority vendor preferences. Thank you.
I'd like to make a comment on that. And if I need to pull it from consent, I will. I would highly recommend that we always go with the most qualified, most readily available law firm. These are highly sensitive cases, and we're talking, in some cases, tens of millions of dollars at stake. It's not like hiring a paving contractor. We can go ahead and hire a local paving contractor. You get Alex Keisht over there with a safety vest to look and say, hey, you know what? Wasn't done right. Come back and do it again. You cannot do that with a case. And some of these cases, again, are tens of millions of dollars at stake. We need to go with the best people. If they're from New York, I don't care. But if they're going to win our case and we don't have to pay out a $10 million settlement, then that's what we need to do. This is not a public works contract. This is to keep the city afloat. So I don't know if direction's already been given by one of my colleagues, but if we need to bring this back for a discussion, then that's what I'm going to put forward, because we cannot be risking the city's financial future because we want a local vendor on cases like this.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. So noted. The item's been moved and second, the entire calendar of consent. Motion is second, and members cast your votes, please. You want to do a voice vote? Great, let's do a roll call vote.
Councilmember Sanchez?
Yes.
Councilmember Ibarra?
Yes.
Mayor Porten?
Yes.
Councilmember Charette?
Yes.
Councilmember Reynosa?
Yes.
Councilmember Calvin?
Yes.
Councilmember Alexander?
Aye.
Motion passes.
Okay, we did it. To our viewing audience, our staff members, we thank you. Oh, city manager, yes, sir.
Just a closing comment, channeling council member Calvin, after 18 years, we just awarded State Street, so congratulations to the entire city.
And I'd like to thank the staff, of course, and my colleagues too for agreeing that this was something that needed to be done. And I was hoping that I would have a member of Councilwoman Betty Dean Anderson's family in the audience, but I'm sure that they'll be there when we put shovels in the ground so that we can be able to all celebrate that this is something that is tremendous and momentous in the city of San Bernardino, and I appreciate it.
Okay, we will conclude tonight's meeting. We thank our viewing audience and members of our public for joining us tonight and your public comments. There will be no meeting on September 7th, so I want to advise and warn our public. It is September 21st of 2022. This meeting is now adjourned.